Victoria from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button, and if you have, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today, and hope you're having a great day, and hope you have a great evening as well. So today it's block number 3. We're continuing block number 3. We're almost finished with it, part 4. And what we're going to do, this was the last thing we did, and we did this beautiful cable stitch. So now we're moving on, and we're going to do the basket weave stitch. We're going to do the basket weave stitch. And I'm going to show you just how easy this stitch is to make. It's beautiful. It's very textured. It's a very tight stitch. Every bit of this afghan is absolutely gorgeous, and it is an heirloom quality afghan. I know I keep saying it, but that's what it is. It's just perfect and beautiful. For this blanket, again, that beautiful afghan, we are going to use our eye hook, and we're using an eye hook throughout this afghan. We're also going to need a needle so you can weave in your ends, stitch markers if you want to use stitch markers, and also a tape to measure out your squares. And I always have a pencil because I always write everything down as I go along, and I make notes. That's just me. I make notes because if I want to make this afghan again, all I have to do is refer to the notes that I have, and I cut it down that way. It just makes it easier for me to remember the pattern if I make my own notes. So that's what I do. I always have a nice pencil available to me. So let's get started again. And what we're going to do is, again, we're going to do this basket weave stitch, and it is block number 3, part 4. I want to say again, if you do not want to make a Christmas colored afghan with this afghan, you don't have to. You could actually pick your own color palette and make whatever colors you want with this afghan. So feel free to do that. The other thing that I want to mention is these stitches in this afghan, throughout this afghan, can be used for other projects. So don't feel as though it's like, oh, you know, this is for the afghan. No, you can use this for other projects. This is a beautiful stitch. It can be used for scarves. It can be used for a baby blanket, an afghan, all kinds of things if you just wanted to use this. It's very nice. It's very textured, and it's just a beautiful stitch. So again, let's get started. Why don't we? So I'm just going to put that there. And you're going to look at this, and you want to make sure that you have this spacing correctly, because we're going to be working in this corner. So you want to go from here to here, and where it is this is your cable stitch. So we're going to be working above the cable stitch. We're going to be working on this side. I go slow. You can follow along. You can write it down, whatever makes it easier for you. And see what I mean about having stitch markers? I use them even to remind myself of something. Now, what I did was I left my stitch markers there because I wanted to remember to weave in my ends. So as you move along, get your ends weaved. This way here, you're not doing it at the end when you put the afghan together. Little things like that will make your life a lot simpler. Just want to mention as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get started with this beautiful blanket. Now for the tutorial, I'm using 2 different color yarns. I'm making 2 afghans actually. So this is the sample I want to show you, and then this is the one I'm working with you. So I'm using this pretty white, and then I'm using this color, and it's called mistletoe, and this is just a beautiful red, cherry red that I'm using. So I wanted to mention that as well. And they're all by Red Heart yarn. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started. So now let's get started. And one of the things I want to mention is make sure that your piece is facing the right way. And you can tell the right side and the wrong side. This is the right side. This is the wrong side. Here's your star. You can tell, can't really see it too much in the back. So that's what I want to mention first. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our yarn that we're going to be working with, whatever color you're going to be working with, and we're going to attach it. And then we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And that chain 2 is going to count as your first half double crochet. In the next 2 stitches, you're going to put a half double crochet in the back bar. We're going to be working in the back bar because we want to create the ridge. We want to create this ridge that just makes this stand out. So that's what we want to do there. So we could put a chain 2 half double crochet, 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and we're working in the back bar. So 1 and 2, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, 1, 2, and I want to mention I go slow so you can follow along, you can write it down, whatever makes it easy for you. So then once we put the 2 half double crochets in that next stitch, now we're going to go across the next 10 stitches and make a half double crochet in each one of those stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now what we're going to do after we make the 10, we're going to put 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And see how your ridge is? It's so pretty. So now we're going to put 10 half double crochets in the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 1 half double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. We had to do an increase for this particular stitch. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And we are golden. So now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And we are going to turn our work. And that chain 2 is the first half double crochet. We're going to make a front post double crochet in the next 3 stitches. We're going to make a front post double crochet. So we're going to do it in this stitch in this stitch and in this stitch. And then in the next 3 stitches, we're going to do a back post. So we're going to go to the back of this and come around the front. And we're going to do 3 back post double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to repeat this pattern across. So in the next 3 stitches, we're going to go from the front, and our crochet hook goes in the back of this, and we're going to do 3 front post double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to do 3 back post double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And then 3 front posts. And I'm going to have you continue doing this until you get to the end, and the last stitch will be a half double crochet. A half double crochet in the last stitch. So meet me at the last stitch. Now we're getting to the last few stitches, and we've got to do back post double crochets here. And in that last stitch, we're going to do 1/2 double crochet. And I crochet tight, so sometimes it's a little harder for me to get in there because I crochet very tight. And this is what it looks like. So you're starting to see your basket weave. So now you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And I want to mention this is row 1 right here. And then this is row 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this again. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to put 3 front post double crochets here. 1, 2, and 3. So now what I want to say is that you're going to repeat that row 2 twice. So row 2 and 3 are going to start the same way with the front post double crochet. Of course, you're going to have your chain 2 because you're going to turn your work, and then you start with the front post double crochet. Because that chain, you did the first stitch or the first row has half double crochets because that's your starter row, and then row 2 and 3 are the same row. Chain 2, turn your work, front post double crochet. Row 4 and 5 are the opposite. They're going to be back post double crochet and then a front post double crochet, and you'll repeat that 2 times. So we're repeating this row, which was row 2, twice. So row 2 will be repeated into row 2 and row 3. I'm just hoping that I am explaining that correctly. And then, and this is starting your basket weave. So row 2 you repeated twice. Row 4 you'll repeat twice. And you'll continue to do that until you have 6 3/4 inches high, and still at 6 3/4. And you're going to do this right across. 3 front post double crochets, 3 back post double crochets, 3 front post double crochets. You'll repeat this twice. So you're going to repeat row 2 into row 3. So row 3 will be the same as row 2. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. I will write it down so that I will put it in the instructions. I will definitely put it in the instructions. And see, you're seeing your basket weave. You're starting to see that basket weave. You want to make sure that you repeat 2 rows twice for front post, starting with the front post. You repeat that twice, and then you repeat the next 2 rows twice, and we'll get to that when we're finished with this row. And this is a beautiful, really beautiful stitch. Scarves, hats, lots of things you can make with this. Afghans, baby blankets. Like if you want to put a crochet foot warmer at the base of your bed, this would be a nice stitch because it's just very warm. Very textured, really pretty. And now a half double crochet in this last stitch. So you repeated row 2 twice by starting with the front post double crochet in both rows. Now we're going to do 4 and 5. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and that's your first half double crochet. Then you're going to turn your work around, and you're going to start with the back post double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, go in the back, come around the front of that stitch, and that's a back post double crochet. You're putting your crochet hook, you're coming in from the back. You will repeat this row twice. So we're going to just do this twice. So you did a back post, now you're going to do a front post. And now you're going to do a back post. You'll do 3 across. And now you're going to do a front post. See how pretty that is? And now you're going to do a back post. And you're going to repeat that across and meet me almost at the end. And that's what it looks like. No, we're almost at the end. And you put a half double crochet in that very last stitch. There is a stitch there. Don't miss it. A half double crochet in that very last stitch. And see how easy you can see the basket weave. Now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2 and turn our work. And we're going to repeat, and we're going to do a back post double crochet. So we're going to repeat that row 4, twice. So we're repeating this again by starting with a back post double crochet. So you're going to repeat each one of those front posts and then the back post double crochet twice in each segment. And we're going to repeat this right across. And see how pretty that is? You can really start to see the basket weave right in there. So I'll meet you almost at the end, and you continue with that, starting with a back post double crochet for row 4 and 5. Always start with a back post. Row 2 and 3, always start with a front post. And then you'll repeat those 2 rows again, and then you'll repeat row 4 again twice. Row 2 twice, row 4 twice, row 2 twice, and you continue. I go slow. You can follow along. You can write it down. So meet me again at almost the end. So we're almost at the end, and we're going to put our last sets of 3 and their front post double crochets. And then a half double crochet in this very last stitch, a half double crochet. Now what you're going to do is you're going to continue with this. You're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and you turn your work, and you're going to do row 2 and 3 with the front post double crochet starting. You'll repeat row 4 and 5 with a back post double crochet and then a front post double crochet to start. Now you'll keep doing that until this measures 6 3/4, until it measures 6 3/4. Once this measures 6 3/4, so now we're going to make believe that this measures 6 3/4 and that we're done with this, because we wanted to do one more row, and that row has to be a decrease row because we have to go from 32 stitches back down to 29, because this particular stitch, that's what it called for. So what we would do is we would chain 1, and then we would turn our work. In where that chain 1 is, you're going to put right in there a single crochet. And then you're going to single crochet in this stitch next to it, and single crochet in the next stitch. Now we're going to start a decrease. So we're going to do 2 together. So we're going to go into this stitch and pull up a loop, and then we're going to go into the next one and pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over and go through all 3. So what we did was we got 2 stitches and made it into 1. Then we're going to make 10 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. 1, 2. And you're going to repeat that across. So after you do the 2 together, you're going to do 10 single crochets. So meet me at the end. Now we're almost at the end, and we've got to do one final decrease. So we're going to go in, pull up a loop, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and that brings 2 stitches. We made 1. So now we have 3 single crochets left to make. 1, 2 in this next stitch, and 3. And that would finish off, and you would go from 32 stitches down to 29, which is what we need, because when we do our border and we finish this block off, we need to have the correct amount of stitches for each block that we do. So this is how you finish off this block. You'd go from 32 stitches down to 29, and you would only do this last row once your piece measures 6 3/4. When you're done with the entire piece, it should measure 7 inches high. So that's what it should measure. And again, you're going to do row 2 and 3 is going to be front post double crochet, back post double crochet, and repeat across. Row 4 and 5 will be back post double crochet and front post double crochet for 2 rows. And then you'll keep repeating row 2 and 3, row 4 and 5, row 2 and 3, 4 and 5, until you get to 6 3/4. When you get there, then you will make that last row, which will bring this block down from 32 stitches to 29. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of this beautiful basket weave stitch, block number 3, part 4. This is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Love you all. Bye-bye.